Beth Stelzer of Save Women's Sports, here with an amazing interview. I have the opportunity to bring to you today Cynthia Millen, the Shiro USA, former USA swimming official, who hung up her whistle and said enough is enough. And it's so great to have you. And my team is so grateful. I think I speak for millions of women when we say thank you so much, or as we like to use on Twitter sometimes, hashtag no thank you. I think that's a movement that we should start. Cynthia, can you tell my followers a little bit about yourself, just in general?
Well, Beth, first of all, you're awesome, and your group is amazing.
Thank you.
I never planned to do this. I write children's books under the name CM Millen, and I'm a grandma, and I have been doing swim officiating as a volunteer for over 30 years, and was planning to go to Paralympic Nationals. And then when this came up, it just stuck in my craw. And by
this, you mean the Leah Thomas swimming in the NCAA.
But I read the article, and I forget where I read it, but I read about it. And I thought a lot about it and prayed about it. And I thought, I can't support an organization. This isn't good. And USA Swimming is the overall governing body for Paralympics, for NC2A, for Olympic trials, all that. So I emailed all my fellow officials. I knew they would have enough people. And I said, I've got to bug out. I cannot do this. And then I searched online for, is there an organization that will help save women's sports? And there we were. So I am not a public speaker. I am not someone who has been in the limelight at all. And I like
till now.
Till now, yeah. But this, you know, I've learned a lot over the last week or so. And the first thing I've learned is that the media a lot of times wants to have you say certain things, and you've got to decide clearly what you're going to say. And Beth, you've really helped with that. Number two, this is not a personal attack on Leah. This is not a personal attack on transgenders. This is a recognition of the truth that in sports, bodies compete against bodies. And you put that so well to me, and it's so crystal clear. And there's something deeply wrong here that we have to fix. What really got to me, though, Beth, is all those 30 years seeing all those little girls practice. And then, unlike the boys, when the little girls get to puberty, a lot of them quit because they grow breasts, they grow hips, they get their periods. They have to learn to swim all over again because their center of gravity is totally different. So the ones that stick with it, I mean, they're like, wow. Whereas the boys, it's just like, we're just going to keep growing bigger, you know, get bigger shoulders.
It works through a lot to gain where they are. And then they're still at a disadvantage to male bodies.
They are.
No matter how hard they fight through that.
The bottom line is any fully grown male who transitions or tries to transition to become a female will retain all of the advantages that a male swimmer has.
There's no way to mitigate the sexes.
Nothing. So it's NC2A by saying that Leah should take, testosterone suppression drugs for a year, and voila, suddenly Leah is a woman swimmer is malarkey. I mean,
right? Women are not a hormone level.
No, women are not a hormone level.
You can't just change testosterone and estrogen levels and suddenly you're a different sex. It just doesn't work that way. And sports, I hate to say it, they're inherently discriminatory, and they're about winning. And we can't forget that in this, that we have to draw the line somewhere, and the line is sex-based rights. And I'm so grateful for people like you, Cindy, that have the courage and bravery to come out and say enough is enough. So the reaction's been pretty good from your community?
Oh my gosh. It's been overwhelming. I've been getting emails from other officials, former coaches, former swimmers. My friends have been calling and saying, oh, did you see that the YouTube video when you were on Tucker Carlson went viral, and look at all the comments? And I'm so inept at all that stuff. And so I was really, but what I really loved is that by and large, 99% of the people, they have no animosity towards Leah. They want fairness. They want fairness. And this is wrong. And the NC2A and USA Swimming, they cannot allow this to happen because it will destroy women's sports. If you get,
well, it's a good point. I mean, Leah is technically following the rules of the NCAA. This is up to the rule makers to change things up. Although I will point out that, you know, someone should be able to just see that this isn't fair, no matter what your feelings are or what your identities are. It's bodies that play sports. Identities don't play sports, right? Yeah. And so regardless of your feelings, if you do feel like a woman, you should be able to put yourself in our shoes and see why it just simply isn't right to compete against women. Why you would want to is beyond me. But we're seeing this in not just college, but in all levels, at all ages, at all expertise levels in all sports. And if we don't put an end to it, it's just going to be like a floodgate opening. It will be very, very hard to close. But I think with people like you and Jerry Chanteau, the former All-American swimmer, stepping up, you know, Martina Navratilova has made some comments, whatever. We're getting there. I think we're going to see a groundswell of support. We just needed a safe space for people to speak up because it's been such a toxic environment. This movement has bullied people who speak up, but we've finally gotten to the point that the bullies can't shut us up anymore. There are enough of us. And in the end, all they have is name calling and attacks because they know we're standing in the truth, and that has great power in this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No one should be afraid to speak up when something is wrong. And I would say to anybody in the transgender community who is upset about this, there's a great quote from St. Jerome: you don't heal yourself by wounding another. It doesn't help the entire transgender movement to suppress the rights of these women. It's not good. And the best texts I've been getting, women. There have been many transgender people who have been writing in comments on the YouTube video and say, I am transgender and I don't agree with this. They recognize that there are still differences
really
there.
Is only a fraction of like militant extremists that are attacking us over this. And they have so much power in the media and in social media. And so they've really had control for a long time, but we're really seeing that the tide is turning and there are people making some big waves in the community here, pun intended. And it's so awesome. I hope what you're doing, your courage calls to more people and they'll feel safe to speak up. I think it's only a matter of time, kind of like that tale, The Emperor's New Clothes. You know, it's only a matter of time until we all have the nerve to speak the truth.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And you don't have to be anybody special to do it. Just believe in what you're saying.
I think that's a really good message because just like me, I consider myself an average person. I never expected to be thrown into this situation. I just saw something that was really wrong and didn't sit well with me and ran with it. And here we are. So yeah, you don't have to have a special degree or any kind of thing. You just have to be able to say enough is enough. And I'm going to use my voice to speak up to save the rights of women, because this is basically the beginning of the erasure of women, not just women's sports. We deserve sex-based rights to privacy and safety across the board.
Yep. I would encourage everybody to go on your website because that's where I was able to learn more about what was going on. And it's not just swimming, as you know. It's not just
swimming. It was so great. Cynthia reached out. I was able to connect with her right away. Even though it was the holidays, we still felt an urgency to get out there. And when I explained the situation to her, she just jumped at the opportunity. And I hope all of you will see that too. Like it doesn't take much. It's only going to take a few of us and this can all be over. So please join the fight. Please see the reality of what is happening. There are males competing in female sports. Not only that, they're setting state records.
Yep.
And there's no asterisk on the board or in the record charts to show that they have a male body. It just says a female name. And what's that going to show to future generations of girls? Right. It's basically erasing us out of the record books in the long run. It's the beginning of the end. And thankfully, with women like you together, we are going to save women's sports. And I would like to send a call to action to any of you out there who are in Cynthia's shoes, a swimmer, a coach, administration. If you want help speaking up, if you want some support, email us info@savewomensports.com. Also at that email address, you can send Cynthia a thank you and we'll forward that along to her. Because sometimes in this battle, you do feel a little alone when you're first figuring out what's going on. And so that bit of support can go a long ways, and we appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, Cynthia, thank you so much for your time, for you taking the leap and getting out there in the media. It's women like you that are going to make the difference. And together we are going to save women's sports.